Hey guys, it's Sean Zine, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. And
Sean Abrams, what up, everybody?
what's up, brother? How are you?
Chilling, man. Yourself?
Doing awesome, man. I was on a lot of calls, actually, no, a lot of Zoom meetings today, back in the swing of things with school and being in front of the computer all day. ah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's different, and I like to be out moving and doing things and being a physical educator, sitting there looking at a screen the whole goddamn day. It was not fun, but hey, we got through it. Something different.
So I guess how does that work for you as a physical educator in this new Zoom life and the way we're teaching? Like how does that happen? Like, I mean, there's a lot of changes that are going on in your life. One, just coming out of summer, going into just the normal routine of daily life. And then two, the actual change of the actual teaching. Like, what are you gonna do? How does it look? Like, where are you at right now? Like, I'd love to just dive into that a little bit.
Well, one thing we're going to use Zoom. So I like how you can do breakout little rooms and things like that for health class, but for physical class, as far as, we're going to do a lot more workouts, like, which is perfect because that's what I've been on this whole new journey. And I
Yeah.
have all these different now opportunities and all these different workouts that I can share with the kids and have them get going. I was thinking about even doing a nightly thing, or not, maybe not nightly, once a week, once every couple of weeks, maybe get like the community to come together, and do a workout, and see what happens and get them moving too and get them a little bit, because sitting in front of a computer is not the way to go. Like, that's not going to be fun for them. As we're usually using a basketball or playing
Mhm.
team sports and all that thing. And I enjoy working out because it has great music and the energy you get from people. But these kids, they don't want to just work out. They want to do other things. It's all about socialization as well.
Yeah, it's a whole interesting dynamic, right? Like you're used to having 20, 30 kids in that class where they can all run around and have their friends and make fun of each other and support each other and do all that stuff that we did as kids. But how do you do that and get that interaction, right? That's key to allowing them to develop those activities and those thoughts and those habits um, virtually, right? And the funny thing is you've been doing it for yourself all summer. So the cool thing is you're allowed to take those lessons now that you've learned and hopefully pass them on to a younger generation and have an impact on their entire life versus maybe talking to somebody that's 30, 40 years old, right? 50 years old, and just trying to have an impact on their later life.
It's funny. You say that as far as habits. I had to change a habit this morning. I had to get up earlier. I had to figure out how the heck am I going to get a workout in today? And it's funny. We have these conversations with our, clientele, and they're like, "Oh, how do you find time?" Everybody can find time, is if you want to find the time. That's a different story. So I knew my day was jam packed. I have some calls for insurance. I have my teaching business. I have Beachbody, and I'm like, how am I get that? How am I going to get this workout in? I had to get up a little earlier. I didn't sit down and watch the news for a little longer than I might have, or have the coffee. Still have the coffee, still have my shake, got my workout in, and I'm fired up the rest of the whole freaking day. But people are like, I don't have the time. I found if I work out later in the day, like closer to like 6, 7 o'clock at night, which when I was younger I can do. If I do that now, I'm going to be fired up. I won't be able to go to sleep, so I can't do that. But it's all about habits, man.
I love all that, because I'm a morning guy myself, and I was just listening to a podcast, and I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more about this. But on the podcast, it actually said that um, if you get up early and get light in your day early, right? Like go outside, not internal light from a lamp or whatever, but go outside, even if it's a cloudy day, whatever, and get all these lumens, you're going to wake up your body. And then your body actually has a natural clock of serotonin, right? So from 16 hours from that point is when your body is going to calculate to go to sleep. Okay, so let's say I don't even know how to do math right now.
Yeah.
5 a.m., 7 hours, another 9, that's 9 p.m., right? Your body's going to start to wind down. If you don't do that and you stay in at 9 p.m., instead of your body starting to shut down, it gets a second dose of, like epinephrine or endorphins or whatever it is. And now you're up, and now you're staying up later. And now you're not able to wake up earlier because you're staying up later, and those continued effects. It was just a really interesting thought that I had never heard that way, just getting some sunlight on your body can actually change your nighttime moods and your nighttime um, process or whatever it is, right? Like it was just really interesting to hear, and I was just kind of excited to share that because
It makes sense. It makes total sense, like if you, and then there's people that are up so late at night and they're like, oh, I only need a couple hours of sleep. And you look at them and you're like, nah, you need more than a couple hours, buddy. But it's so important to go to sleep at a reasonable night, reasonable time, so you get the rest that you deserve. And I don't dream. I just I can go to sleep instantly. I can just hit the pillow and out because they turn off. And I know some people can't do that. I turn off what I'm thinking about and be like, I'm going to deal with it tomorrow. And that's it. Why? What is the difference if something's going on in your life right now, staying up all night worrying about it? What does that really do? You can't change anything at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock. Might as well get a couple hours of sleep and then battle whatever the hell the problem that you might have that you want to try to get a solution for.
Yeah, no, but that anxiety, I think a lot of us run away from. And it's one of those things that we have to remember that as a society, as a human race, as anything, we've always made our biggest strides out of challenge, out of effort into a challenge, right? And I think nowadays, and this is something that was kind of brought up in the past few days for me, is that we're okay with status quo and making our lives comfortable. And I think Matthew said it on Monday in your live, be comfortable in uncomfortability versus, just being comfortable to be comfortable and not wanting to, one, deal with stuff, or two, push it off so far that you're not producing resources or any way to deal with it. And, it's interesting that you say that, because how do we go that way, right? How do we change those habits that we've built for 20, 30 years from us, 40, 50, whatever, and become a better version of ourselves to deal with those things right away? But we've never done it that way, right? So a lot of us get fearful of the change. Right?
Change is a challenge for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's something that a lot of people don't want to do. They'd rather just continue the status quo, like you were saying. They don't want to work or try different things. That's words that people don't want to use.
I don't know if it's so much work, but I think it's just getting out of your normal routine. And that comes back to breaking habits, right? And it's really the thing I was listening to from this neuroscience guy. Like we always talk about, you and I, about falling in love with a process, right? Not so much the end result, because the end results will come. Mm-hmm. Good or bad, they're going to come either way, as long as you do the process, you follow with it, and then you can learn from it. But the thought of something, which turns into, okay, I want to do this, which then turns into action or inaction, whichever way it is, produces something called dopamine effect, right? And dopamine, for lack of a better terminology, is just something in our chemical imbalances in our head that fires our neurons and produces action. Good or bad, it doesn't matter, right? It can go both ways. So what happens after that is, if you've done, all right, I'm going to think about this, like, I want to go work out and I got to get healthy, okay? I'm going to do it at 3 o'clock. Awesome. But then you don't do it. And then you beat yourself up over it. Man, I should have done it today, whatever, right? And then you do it again tomorrow. And then you keep pushing it off. And it's like a week later or 2 weeks or whatever. Well, you've been firing and wiring your brain. Every time you have that thought that you want to get healthy, now it's thinking B is going to be, okay, we're going to set a time. And then C is going to be, we're not going to do it. Your brain is ready for that thought to come through, right? So until you start to take action that's different from what you've always done, you can't change it. You can't rewire it. You can't refire it. You can't build that habit that we're all looking for, right? And it was really interesting to finally put the science, like actual science, in a small, easy, compact way to that falling in love with the process. And the more you do it, and it's not about effort, it's just about consistency. Just showing up for yourself, right? So, I mean, I don't know. The dopamine effect was cool. I was like all fired up this week about it. I'm like all excited. I did videos on it, and I don't know. I mean, how have you come through this? Like now you had that challenge today of changing your day. Like, are you fired up today because you changed it up and you knocked it out of the park, or what?
Well, look at last couple weeks we've been doing this, and this is something we want to continue to provide value for the healthy lifestyles and fitness. And we usually been doing it around noon, and we had to fit it in a different time in today, but we were able to find a location to make it happen. And that's just because we have that focus. And a lot of people say, I don't have time to work out. And we go back to that constantly. People say, I'm so busy, I can't fit it in. Your health should be the top priority in most people's lives. What you should be focusing is on your health, but people don't. They like to worry about like closing lots of business now. But I said, that's great. The money will come, but your health, if you keep letting it go, you go out to your lunch times with having these big lunches and dinners. And once in a while, that's great. If it's every single day and you're not being active, you're going to gain so much weight and it's going to affect you. You're going to start feeling bad about yourself. You're going to start not feeling well, putting on the outfits. I love it. I'm feeling so much better in the clothing that I put on, the energy that I get. Now I have a lot of more things on my plate. I needed it. And this morning, just a quick little change, having my workout earlier, it just gave me more energy throughout the day. And
yeah, and I was talking about that with somebody else today, like somebody I'm working with, and he was like, it was so. It's interesting how energy transfers, right? And what you're into or what you're doing, you start to build like-minded community around you, and people start to have these different thoughts, and it all kind of comes together. And he's telling me like he had an injury, so he's been not working out for a while, and he was like, I need a challenge, I need to get into this. Like I'm a competitive guy, and I need to find my competitive. And I'm like, well, let's talk about it. And he literally went through the process I just explained. He was like, I've been beating myself up for the past 2 weeks because one, I keep telling myself I got to do this, and I have what goal I want in my head. And then two, I keep like saying it's going to be at this time, and then I don't do it because work gets involved or the kids get all fired up or whatever it is. And then I beat myself up because I didn't do it. And I'm like, yeah. And that's why I explained to him this whole concept of the dopamine. And it was interesting just to see him gravitate. And he's like, yeah, all right, well, I'm working out today, damn it. Like, let's change it, because he's an action taker, and it's awesome that he does that. But, not a lot of people understand that just taking a simple next step today and doing one thing could change your entire life, not only in health, but in business, in connections, in relationships, in your personal marriage or partnership or whatever it is. Like those are all interconnected through all this. And how you show up for yourself on a daily basis affects all that. Right? So if you start off your day with that challenge and you crushed it, well, guess what? Any other challenge that comes up the rest of the day, dude, is nothing compared to what you already did today.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to say what's up to Yolanda. Thanks so much for stopping by. And I love the process. And a lot of people ask me, oh, I don't have the workout materials as far as maybe the weights or the bands, or maybe I don't have the cool outfits that you guys wear. None of that matters, guys. There's workouts in our programs that you can do with your own body weight. You can do calisthenics. It's all cool things that you can do with music. There's a variety of things, but it's also just putting a mindset that I'm going to make it happen today. I want to
knowing you got support, right? Like knowing that you have support. Like if you need to call me, right? Like you want to talk this out, let's talk it out. You want to message it out, let's message it out. It doesn't matter how it happens. I mean, we have different accountability ways of holding each other accountable to one, the mentorship that we're trying to provide for people. But also two, for you to just vent. Like that's what the support community is about. It's not about showing up to the gym and doing a workout and lifting 20 pounds at a time. Like who cares? We can all do that. We can all go outside and grab a 5-gallon jug and do it 45 times, right? Like it doesn't matter. This is about support and community and showing up for each other, right? Like I think everybody always gets that wrong, that we're a fitness company or we're a product company. Yeah, that's how we make business. That's how we stay alive. And that's how we actually continue to grow so we can support more people with more time, right? Like you and I, we wear all these different hats. We're dads, we're husbands, we're employees, we're doing different businesses on the side, right? Like we have a ton of stuff. We're family members, all that good stuff. But we want to support you guys. And for us to support you more, yeah, we need to make a few bucks because money is not a bad thing if it's coming from the right place.
Right.
Right. And that's what I love about this business. When you have people that just open up and understand that there's people that just want to freaking help, like, dude, it's crazy.
It's funny. I want to talk about a habit that we have that every single time we get done with a workout, and this is not something that you have to do, but this is reasoning why we do this. Every single time we get done with a workout, we always do some kind of video. We do a picture. Usually it's either like, or whatever.
You flex. Yeah.
You flex. Why does it? It makes you feel good for one. You actually proven that you actually did your workout. And then you can kind of reflect on how you felt after that. I like to teach so I can share what I just went through, and people that are following me might get inspired and get on board. Hey, you can join with us. You can do your own thing. But hey, I would love, and we don't just do it for ourselves because it holds us accountable that we're doing our selfies, and we'll do, hey, and we'll tag each other, make sure we pound, and Lambe's involved, and Jono and John. It just makes it so cool to see everyone doing something similar, and doing those sweaty selfies are key. It helps you stay accountable, helps you, hey, I did it. How about you? And it's like almost like a competition. Like, I know you get up earlier than me, and I'm like, damn, you got me today. Now I'll do my motivational quote, and I'm like, you already freaking worked out. I'm like, but that inspires me to make sure I get my workout in that day.
And it's about celebrating wins, right? Like if we can celebrate a win for you guys, that's awesome. Like I love to smile for you guys because now you've changed something in your life. It could be one day, it could be 5 days, it could be for the entire year, it could be 3 years, whatever. But we start to celebrate those little wins because guess what? You know what the hell we're going to do when you get those big wins? Like we have my buddy Chuck, who's lost over 30 pounds and maintained it through vacation and COVID and all sorts of stuff at home. Kayla has done over 25 pounds herself, like just crushing it, running and all sorts of stuff included in her workouts. And then you specifically, I mean, dude, you're over 25 pounds already and you're just getting started, right? Like, I mean, you're just doing the work on consistency. We're starting to work even more on your nutrition and all sorts of other stuff. Oh yeah. Oh, there's my AirPods. Hold on.
You left them out there. But yeah, I am all about, wanted to get leaner. I wanted to, become different than what I was before. And we talked about this, and Yolanda said that she doesn't want to, she keeps giving up excuses, but she realizes she wants to work out at night because it helps her sleep at night. So you have to figure that out. Yeah. And that's something that's important. So some of you might have to work out at night, but I'm on a journey and I want to do major things. After I lean out, I want to get stronger. I'm going to incorporate even more weight. So I'm going to get, more strength involved. I don't need to be like, I'm watching, I don't know if you saw the Umbrella Academy. It's like almost it's a cool movie. This guy is like enormous. I'm like, I don't want to be enormous like that, but I want to also be someone that is looked up to. And Jono, he's awesome. We inspire others, man. We appreciate you. He's dropping some massive nutritional ideas and ways of cooking and concocting different ideas. So it's all about helping other people. And this is a great avenue that we represent right now.
Yeah. And the cool thing is we don't pigeonhole anybody into anything, right? Like I think a lot of times we get so structured in our structure that we don't allow ourselves to grow and learn new things too, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking to my uncle and he's like, oh, I got to do this, this, and this, and this. I'm like, how's that working for you? And we start to talk about different things. He's like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. But then he always reverts back to what's been fired in his brain, right? And the normal habits that he's had. So how do we change those? And that's just taking action, right? And finally just allowing yourself to try something different, because you never know what you're gonna like versus what you're not gonna like because you're perceiving you're not gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's just opening up the mind and allowing stuff to flow. And that's what's cool about us is, you know, every 2 or 3 months, we got something new coming out. And, you know, just to drop a little hint, we got a running thing coming out, which is going to be awesome. We're just going to drop some lovely medals on our necks. So that's going to be fun. But I mean, there's always something different that's built for our lifestyles, right? It's not built for you to go and like, dude, if you want to go and be massive, you can do that. That's fine. I don't want to spend that much time in the gym, number one.
Right.
Number two, that's not my goal, right? And I can do some of that to an extent right at home, right? And a lot of people have built giant gyms in their home, and they do that at home too. But I just want to be athletic. I want to be able to take care of my kids. I want to run. I want to throw them. I want to jump with them. I want to be able to hold them for 5 minutes in a line at Disney World when it's like 9,000 degrees and there's 900 people in line, right? Like it was one of those things that always got me is I couldn't bear to hold them, and then like my back would be all kinked up, and then my neck would get all kinked up, and so now that's all taken care of, right? I feel great. I feel awesome, and we continue to challenge ourselves with new and different things, and even going back to some of the old stuff. And you're like, dude, really? Did you guys put this out? Like, this is interesting.
Trying something old again, it fires up the energy levels. That's what we all want. So we know everyone out there is just taking some time at watching us, and we're going to put in the comments. We'll put 2 different groups that people should be involved in. One is the dad bods.
Yep.
You know, the dad
dudes and dads, baby.
Dudes and dads will get. If you're a dad, sorry, ladies. Well, I guess we're letting the ladies in too, but
yeah, they can come by.
We can let them in, and then we also have the other one that we're dropping some massive value as far as nutrition.
It's called Stronger Together. We're doing a nutrition week right now. And then we'll probably come up with a few other things in the future. But right now it's just a nutrition focus. There's a couple meal plans in there that are at no cost. We're doing some support within the group of just daily life and how we manage our stuff. A couple of us dudes are in there. We're going to hopefully bring in some guest speakers in the future. But just kind of similar things like this, but to give just support to you to figure out what you do, what you don't like, and how you can take your next step. Right? Because that's all it's about, is taking another step in your personal journey. And if we can give you some information that just serves you and is no cost and we're just giving to others, like that's just an amazing thing, because we have so much knowledge, so much support. And then if you want to come hang out with us and do the rest of it, that's fine too. We're okay with that too, right? But you know, everybody's on a different journey, everybody's on a different path, and we want to be able to support that from just a giving standpoint, and that's what that's all about. So come and join it. Like it's free. It's called Stronger Together. We'll let Sean post it, and we'll go from there. So
awesome, guys. We could be on forever, and we know we're busy. So Sean, I appreciate you. We'll be in touch very soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, man. I hope everyone has an awesome day.
All right. See y'all.